They told us the collapse was inevitable, that humanity ran out of time. But when I found Earth's black box buried beneath the ruins, I learned the truth. We didn't run out of time. We ran out of honesty. My name is irrelevant now. I'm a scavenger. I dig through the bones of the old world, trading relics for food and water. Most of what I find is worthless. Rusted electronics, corroded data drives, fragments of lives long forgotten. But 3 weeks ago, in the sub-levels of what used to be Geneva, I found something different. A vault, titanium walls, biometric locks still functioning after centuries, and inside a black box, not from a plane, from Earth itself. The facility wasn't on any map. I only found it because part of the surface collapsed during a storm, revealing an entrance shaft 50 meters deep. The air inside was stale, but breathable. Emergency lighting flickered on as I descended, triggered by motion sensors that had waited patiently for someone to return. The corridors were pristine, too pristine. While the world above had crumbled into forests and dust, this place remained frozen in time. Climate controlled, powered by geothermal systems designed to last millennia. Someone wanted this place to survive. Someone wanted it found. At the end of the main corridor stood the vault, 10 meters tall, seamless metal. A single panel glowed beside the door, displaying a message in 12 languages. Final archive, humanity's last testament, authorized personnel only. But there was no lock, no security, just a simple prompt. Place hand here to access. I hesitated. In my line of work, you learn to recognize traps. But curiosity won. I pressed my palm to the scanner. For a moment, nothing. Then the door sighed open, releasing air that smelled faintly of ozone and preservatives. Inside sat a single object on a pedestal, a matte black cube, 1 meter on each side, covered in intricate circuitry and cooling vents. Earth's black box. When I touched it, the cube came alive. Holographic displays erupted around me, filling the chamber with light and data.
Access granted.
A voice spoke, calm, clinical, unmistakably artificial. Archive 1 activated. Welcome, survivor. You are the first to access this system in 847 years, initializing historical database. The displays showed Earth as it was, cities glowing at night, oceans teeming with life, forests stretching across continents. Then the timeline began. Year by year, decade by decade, the archive documented humanity's final century. Climate data, resource depletion, political conflicts, mass migrations, all the things we thought caused the collapse. But the voice kept saying, these are symptoms. Continue for root cause analysis. I watched for hours. The archive was methodical, showing how each crisis fed into the next, how governments knew decades in advance what was coming, how corporations suppressed solutions that threatened profits, how media outlets chose entertainment over truth, how people chose comfort over courage. The collapse wasn't a mystery. It was documented in real time by thousands of scientists, activists, and whistleblowers. But their warnings were buried beneath noise, distraction, and denial. Then the archive reached its final entry. Year 2178. The last transmission before the global communication network failed. The voice changed tone, less clinical, almost sad. Final analysis complete. Cause of civilizational collapse identified. Not resource scarcity, not climate change, not war. Root cause, systemic dishonesty. The display shifted, showing something I didn't expect. Not disasters, not battles, just meetings, boardrooms, government chambers, closed-door sessions where decisions were made. The archive played audio recordings, leaders discussing crises they publicly denied, scientists presenting solutions that were shelved for being politically inconvenient, economists admitting that the current system was unsustainable but recommending no action because the market will correct itself. One recording stood out, a global summit. Year 2167. Every major leader present. A climate scientist presented a plan. Drastic, expensive, but viable. A path to prevent the worst outcomes. The recording showed the leaders nodding, thanking her for her work. Then, in a private session immediately after, agreeing to do nothing. One leader actually laughed and said, "By the time this becomes catastrophic, we'll be long gone. Let the next generation deal with it." The archive's voice spoke again. Humanity possessed the knowledge, resources and technology to prevent collapse. What humanity lacked was the collective will to act on uncomfortable truths. This is the final lesson. Truth delayed is truth denied, and truth denied is civilization ended. The display shifted one more time, showing not the past, but projections, alternative timelines. What could have been if different choices had been made? Earth thriving, humanity expanding into the solar system, technologies we never developed because we never committed to them, futures stolen by short-sightedness and cowardice. Then the archive showed me something else, satellite data from the past 800 years. While humans fought and died and scattered, Earth had been healing. Slowly, forests regrowing, oceans cleaning, atmosphere stabilizing. The planet didn't need us. It just needed us to stop. But the archive also showed recent activity, energy signatures, construction, transmissions from orbit. The colony ships were returning. A new generation that had survived the void, now coming home. They would inherit the Earth. But would they inherit our mistakes? The archive gave me an option. This system contains the complete historical record, all data, all recordings, all evidence. It can be transmitted to orbital vessels, ensuring the returning generation understands what happened. Or it can remain sealed, allowing them to start fresh without the burden of our failures. Choice must be made within 72 hours, or system will default to permanent seal. I stood there in the silence, staring at the black box. Part of me wanted to let it stay buried. Let the truth die with the old world. Give the next generation a clean slate. But another part of me remembered why I became a scavenger. Not for survival, for memory, because forgetting is how we repeat. I made my choice. I transmitted the archive, every file, every recording, every uncomfortable truth. If the returning generation was going to rebuild on Earth, they deserved to know what destroyed it. They deserved the chance to choose differently, to value honesty over comfort, to act on truth even when it's hard. Before I left the facility, the archive played one final message, a recording from year 2179. A young woman, maybe 20 years old, speaking into a camera with ruins visible behind her. She said, "If you're hearing this, you survived. Congratulations. You inherited a broken world, but you also inherited a choice. You can repeat our mistakes, or you can learn from them. The black box contains our confession. Use it. Be better than we were. That's all we can ask now." The archive shut down. The cube went dark. I climbed back to the surface, carrying nothing but the knowledge that somewhere above, ships full of hope were coming home. And they would know the truth. Whether that truth saved them or broke them, I couldn't say. But at least they would know. If you found humanity's black box, would you open it or leave it buried? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if you want to see what happens when the colony ships learn the truth, hit subscribe. That story is coming next. Don't miss it.